Dan Obano, Southern California News Group.
I was wondering if you could please address high school sports that have also been under the guidelines of the CDPH since August 3rd about limiting to conditioning and skill work. Those high school athletes are, statewide are approaching their CIF competitions as early as mid-December. What would your message be to, high school athletes, coaches, families that are wondering if they're going to be able to play their high school athletic competitions during this coming school year? And do you think a county's standing, tier standing would dictate, what they're allowed to do as far as competition? Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for the question, really a thoughtful question. And I would say, it has certainly been among the many challenges that we've had in managing the pandemic for our state is ensuring that young people, high school and even younger athletes have a chance to continue to practice, continue to improve their skills, and the lack of competition we know and have been hearing the concerns about. We are working closely with CIF and other youth sports leaders, interscholastic sports leaders, to ensure that we are aligned in the guidance. It will provide clarity as to when competition can take place. And to your point about it being driven or guided by our current tiering, of course, with lower degrees of transmission, either generally across the state or in specific regions or counties in the state, there is tolerance for additional, even some of the higher risk sports to occur, not just from the conditioning, but from the competition perspective. And when we're seeing high rates of transmission or counties that have been, in the purple and even red tiers longest, that they may not have as many of the higher risk sports return right away. But all of this will be released soon, working through some of those final details, and hope to get that out with a great degree of clarity in the near term.
Julie Watts, CBS 13.
Thanks so much for taking our question, Doctor. Actually, if you will, we have two questions. The first is regarding youth sports. Thousands of youth sports athletes are traveling out of state every weekend just to compete against other local teams, because California is one of the last remaining states where competition is still not allowed. So 3 weeks ago, you said that updated guidance was coming. We have been overwhelmed with emails from parents and coaches who are desperate for answers. So doctor, can you tell us today, when will they get those answers? And actually, from a public health perspective, are you more concerned about kids getting COVID on the field locally, or contracting it while traveling to states with higher COVID rates and then bringing it back here?
Sure. So thank you for all the questions. So look, I'm a father of 4. My kids are also desperate to find out when they might return, not just to practice and conditioning, but competition as well. So I join the ranks of parents who are concerned and want to see California guided by science and data, but also finding a way for our young people to have that important outlet, that important expression of activity. So I share with many parents, and I know a number of people on our team do as well. So I say that to begin. We are, and I said it before, close. These are not easy guidances to put together. There's not just the competition issue, but there's the conditioning issue. There's understanding how we continue to drive through our equity lens, to make sure that there's important broad access to all of these opportunities. And I will say it to people who are close friends of mine, others around the state. I hope that we find a way to hold on a little longer, that we understand that moving into states and other areas with higher transmission is risky, not just for that team, but for the community that they return to. So to answer the second part of your question, or the second question you had, absolutely, we want to find ways to discourage people from traveling long distances to play other teams, play local teams, because it's allowed there. We know that these are difficult times. We are working to make sure that we have solutions that are appropriate for a state the size of California, not just from the geography, but from the population size as well.